going on, everybody? I wanted to discuss something that's been bugging me lately. This happened a couple weeks ago, and basically what I want to talk about is the new restrictions that the president has just placed on drones for military applications in theater in Afghanistan, Iraq, Somalia, Yemen, wherever they are hunting terrorists at. Okay. Now I'm talking specifically about drones for military applications only. I'm not talking about the new argument that's starting to rage about drones being used for surveillance in America. I'm not even going to touch that right now. I need to do some research on that before I comment on it. What I'm talking about is the drones that are being used to kill terrorists overseas. All right. If you don't know what a drone is, real quick, you may have heard them referred to as UAVs. Now, let me say real quick, I'm not an expert on these at all. Just what I glean off reading and doing research. Anyways, they're basically gigantic remote-controlled airplanes. All right, and within the past couple of years, they've armed them with missiles and used them to attack and kill terrorists overseas. They've been very good at killing terrorists. Okay, and the estimates in the past, I think, 4 years, 300 some, almost 360 drone strikes that the government's admitted to, they've killed anywhere from 2,000 to 3,300 terrorists. Now, this is all information that's on the internet. Okay, so don't quote me on any of this. This is just what I looked at what I've discovered in my research. So it's been very good at killing bad guys. Unfortunately, there's also an estimated 400 to 800 civilian casualties, which is a big problem. Civilian casualties are not acceptable. They happen in war. It sucks. They're basically unavoidable in a war, especially when you're fighting an enemy like the Taliban in Afghanistan, Iraq, Pakistan, where they make it a point to blend in with the civilian population. You're going to have civilian casualties. It happens in every war. It happens in this war. It's going to happen in wars fought hundreds of years now. Civilians and non-combatants, unfortunately, will be killed in war. It's just terrible. It happens. So that's the major issue with the drones. They've killed quite a few terrorists, quite a few bad guys, which I'm all for, but there have been some mistakes and they've killed some civilians, which is casting them in a negative light. Also, I really didn't see this coming too much to the forefront because of the civilian casualties, because I honestly don't think the politicians, the government, give too much of a fuck about that. But in the past couple of years, 4 American citizens rather, have been killed by drone strikes, okay? And before you get all up in arms, let me tell you, they deserved it, okay? They were not American citizens any longer in my book, because all 4 of them, even though they had American citizenship, either they were born here or they lived here long enough to gain citizenship, they were Islamic radicals, all right? They packed up, moved their little operation over to Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, whatever, and decided they were going to commit jihad. They were going to fight for Islamic radicals. They became terrorists. Now, in my opinion, that right there forfeits all of your rights as an American citizen. It's a wrap at that point. You decide to fight for the other team, you have no more rights as American citizens. So a lot of people, and this is left and right, far left and right, I've heard people complain about saying, hey, these are American citizens, why weren't they brought back here and put on trial? What are you, fucking stupid? Half these guys are hiding in fucking caves and they pop their head out. That's when we get them. You think we can they're not strolling down the street of your suburbs. You can't just call the cops and have the cops come pick them up, you fucking idiots. That's why we didn't go capture them and bring them back to trial. It doesn't work like that, okay? This is asymmetrical warfare. This is dynamic. It happens fast. When these bastards present themselves as a target, somebody needs to be there to pull the trigger to take them out. Okay, flat out, that's what it is. This is we just can't. It's not possible to swoop in there and arrest them. Look, I understand the right that every American deserves a trial and all that bullshit. I'm with that. I understand it. From the lowest scumbag rapist to some dude who committed a little petty crime, whatever. Everybody deserves a trial. It's just not possible in that. Okay, and they're not in America. They're overseas doing their best to fight against America. So why would we afford them any of the benefits of being an American citizen? That's absolutely ridiculous. They've turned their back on America. They want to take America down. Why would we give them any of the protections that being an American citizen offers you in a court? That's insane. That's not how you fight, and that's not how you win wars, doing stupid shit like that. So they put some, because of this, they put some new rules into effect. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. Obama gave a speech. I think it was at the Naval War College, and he kind of is going to rein in the drone program, which upset me a little bit because he's been pretty aggressive in taking out terrorists. He's had a pretty aggressive stance. He's been pretty liberal with the drone uses. Bush presidency, there was only 52 drone strikes. In the Obama presidency, there was 314. Now, don't get that number twisted. Don't think that it was because Bush hated drones or Obama just fucking loves them so much. They were just really armed drones were just really starting to come into their own. 2007, 2008, 2009, when we had the change of leadership in the White House. So those tools had been available. I'm quite certain that Bush would have used them too. Okay. As far as the new rules go, what Obama did was he said, to cut down the civilian casualties, there needs to be, the target needs to meet, I guess, 3 criteria, okay? One of them is continuing imminent threat to U.S. persons. Okay, now, how these are interpreted, I don't know. The second one, they must ascertain with near certainty, the U.S. forces must ascertain with near certainty there will be no civilian casualties. Once again, that's going to be tough to interpret. All right, and the third one is eliminating what they call signature strikes, which is you got a drone flying over a tribal region in Pakistan. It's basically no man's land, okay? Renowned for terrorist training camps, terrorists come across the border, whatever. They see a large group of men. They take it out. They hit it, okay? Basically without doing any identification. They take that group of men out. Rolling the dice that probably 90% chances are a bunch of fucking terrorists. Could be a wedding party, though, which has happened. So the signature strikes are now, looks like they're completely off the table. Now, how these rules are open and interpreted, I don't know. You know, I don't understand how it's going to happen. But that's a big concern. Any time that we may let a terrorist walk is a bad idea because they can't dot their I's and cross their T's. That's a problem. And let's hope that this is... let's hope this was just done to pretty much shut the public the fuck up, you know, the whiny crybabies who don't like to see terrorists vaporized by missiles. I love that shit. Let's talk about drones versus boots on the ground. Obviously, it's just not possible to put boots on the ground everywhere. You can't do it. Look at the Bin Laden raid, okay? Let's talk about that real quick. Everybody's seen the movie. There was two schools of thought how they were going to go after Bin Laden. One, they were going to hit him with massive amounts of ordnance. Drop a couple 2,000-pound laser guideds on there and call it a day, which would have guaranteed you non-combatant civilian casualties. Okay. 2, send in SEAL Team 6. And that's what they did. With the benefit of hindsight, it was a fantastic idea. Had SEAL Team 6 went in there and got a couple dudes killed, it would have been an absolute disaster. Everybody would have been saying, why didn't you bomb it? Okay. It worked out very, very well. Now, even with SEAL Team 6 going in there, and make no mistake about it, these are the absolute very best that our military, that our country has to offer as far as troops. These are guys that spend their entire adult lives honing their warrior craft. Okay, these are the best boots on the ground that we have, the very best in the world. These dudes went in there, they took care of business, but even SEAL Team 6, the guys who do nothing but train for these scenarios, were forced to kill a couple non-combatants because for whatever reason, a lady went for a gun, they made a movement, got in the way. You know, the best dudes we got, okay, who do nothing but train for this, were forced to take out a couple non-combatants. Like I said, so think about that, you know. Even something as risky as it was to send in those guys into Pakistan airspace, into, you know, basically invade a sovereign country, and it worked out fantastic because of the, you know, the amazing level of skill these guys have. Even those guys had to kill a couple non-combatants for whatever reason. And look, I could give less of a shit if they killed every fucking man, woman, and child in that compound. It'll make no difference to me. But you know, they didn't drop the bomb, and by not doing that, they did save quite a few lives. And it looks like, you know, most of the people killed in that raid were bad guys. And obviously the people who got shot, like I said, were either shot because they just got in the crossfire unlucky, or they made a movement that threatened one of the operators' lives, and they had to act on it. Because if it's between you and me and my buddies, it's you every fucking time. You're getting taken out. real quick to wrap this shit up. Thank you for watching. But let's have some common sense here. When we're in the government, we pass laws, and when we set these new restrictions or new guidelines on how we're gonna, prosecute this war on terror, just use a very simple formula. Will these rules make terrorists happy, or will they piss them off? Because that shit that happened a couple weeks ago with these new restrictions, if I'm Mohammed, I'm high-fiving my terrorist bro, saying, yes, that's good. Less drone strikes we got to worry about, okay? It's real simple. If the rules you're going to pass are going to make terrorists happy, don't pass that shit. That's a bad rule. Let's look at something else to do. All right, so just common sense. That's all I got. Be safe, everybody. Lock and load, America, and catch you next time.